All right, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very big welcome to the tutorial of week 9. The first thing I would like you to go and do is I would like you to go to the week 9 content. And on the week 9 content, you'll be able to go and see that there's a tutorial file. So once you open that tutorial file, you're going to be able to see a number of questions. They all relate to the chapter that I actually covered today. I want you to go and spend the time slowly going through every one of these questions and to be able to go and answer them now in the details that they are needed. So ladies and gentlemen, please open that same file that is available on Moodle. And once you're going to open it, I want you to start working on the exercise. So that's the first exercise. That's first exercise we need to go and do now. So after you basically download the paper, I would like you to start really going through the answers. Now, you might need to go and refer back to the lecture that I actually covered today. So if you go and open your lecture, you'll be able to go and see that we covered this concept of earned value. And you'll be able to see that there's so many concepts we spoke about: earned value, planned value. You'll be able to see formulas like these ones here. You'll be able to go and see, other formulas here. You'll be able to see other formulas here. I would like to go and make sure you guys are doing your research while you're checking. And this will be also a slide that is very relevant, especially for knowing how do you actually analyze the data that we are going to go and give you. So have a look slowly. That's the first exercise. The first one is very, very simple. So spend a minute to try to get me the answer. And in 9 months, in months 9, the following project information is available. Actual cost is 2,000, earned value 2,100, planned cost is 2,400. Compute the cost variance and complete the schedule variance for the project. So guys, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to calculate that. Actually, not even 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute would be more than enough. Calculate that answer and let's discuss the answers. All right, guys, so do you have the answer for the first question? What is the actual cost variance?
Minus 300.
The cost variance.
Oh, cost, sorry, sir. It's 100.
Okay, 100. What does that mean?
Positive means under budget.
We are under budget. Okay, great. So we have, we earned 2,100, but it only cost me 2,000. So I am obviously under budget. What about schedule variance? So what do we have for the schedule variance?
Minus 300.
Minus 300. What does that actually mean?
Late. It means it's finished late.
We are behind schedule. We are basically late. That's correct. That's 100% correct. That is the correct answer. That's the first exercise. And that's when we call talking about schedule variance and cost variance. Now I'm going to go and want you to do something else. There's a schedule variance, there's a cost variance, there's a CPI. Okay, so let's go. There's more information. And I need you to go and assess to me, what does that mean? Like, how is the project really performing? So go and spend a minute now to look at the second exercise. Please take a picture of it and open the file in front of you while you're working on it. I'm going to give you a few minutes for that exercise now. All right, guys, have you finished with the second exercise? Did you calculate the schedule variance? Anyone? Rukaya?
No, sir, I'm doing.
Okay, I'll give you guys another minute.
So the CPI is a decimal, yes?
CPI is a number.
All about lesser than 1. Yeah.
Correct. More than
Okay.
one, under one, it could be either way.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So for 2, the SB is leading ahead, like the schedule SB is schedule leading ahead.
What's that, sorry?
So for 2, the task for task 2,
Yeah, what's your question?
like I'm saying the results.
Tell me, what's the
SB
cost
will be
variance?
the amount.
Yes.
So it will be like under budget.
Okay, under budget. Okay, so the cost variance is, let's say, minus, I need the number, but specifically if you can give me the number.
So as I'm doing it, I'm just saying the
Minus
let me
50.
give me one more second.
Okay, yeah, the cost variance is minus 50. That's correct. What about the schedule variance?
It's $40.
Okay, $40. So if the cost variance is minus 50, what does that mean?
It
Oh,
means
sorry, sir.
budget.
Over budget, sir.
All right.
And SP is like leading ahead. I mean, schedule versus ahead.
Okay, schedule variance is plus 40, so we are ahead of schedule.
Ahead of the schedule. Yeah.
Cost variance is minus 50, so we are
Over budget.
behind, over budget, yeah. And what's the CPI?
0.923.
0.93. So what does that mean?
It's just on the I don't know what when we say if that's less than 1.
Okay, what does that mean? Just think about it. That means for every dollar I'm spending, I'm only earning $0.92 worth of work.
Yeah.
Can you say that again? For every.
That means for every dollar I'm spending,
Mhm.
I am earning $0.92 worth of work. So I'm earning less for every dollar I'm spending. I'm earning less than $1. Make sense?
So we are over budgeted, isn't it, sir?
In this example, if you want, yes, we are, we are over budget and we are earning less money. So we are over budget, and if you want from another perspective, for every dollar we are spending, for every dollar we're spending, we are earning less outcome for our dollar that we're spending. So the CPI and the SPI, sorry, the CPI and the cost variance, you're basically calculating things differently. So earlier we calculated cost variance. So cost variance and CPI, they're really telling you the same information, but they're telling you that information in different manner. The CV, when it basically negative, means I am behind budget, over budget. And when it's under 1, it's telling you, again, you are over budget, because simply for every dollar you're spending, you are earning less money than what you should be earning.
So we should define this both differently, or we can simply say over budget.
Well, they're both telling you that they're over budget, but the way you interpret those calculations are differently.
Okay.
So when you say cost variance is minus 20, you know straight away it's over budget. And when you say cost CPI is under 1, it means for every dollar that I'm spending, I'm earning less than $1. So again, I am over budget because for every dollar that I'm spending, I'm earning less work than what I should be earning.
Yes, got it, sir.
Make sense?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? All right, no worries. So now we have question number 3. It's given you some information. I told you a bit more about the percentages earlier. I told you how you look at the planned value in each period earlier. I need you to try to fill the earned value, the planned value, and I need you to be able to go and really get me the cost variance and the schedule variance and tell me the totals here. So I'm going to give you for that question 10 minutes, and then I'll start looking at your answers. So you can see every period what you plan to spend, and you can see what the actual costing, percentage of the work complete. So you need to go and put the earned value based on the percentage of work complete and make the comparison in terms of the calculations. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, please start working, guys. Thank you very much. I'm giving you 10 minutes for that exercise. Thank you. All right, guys, are we finished with the third question? You need to report for period number 4 and period number 8. Can anybody tell me what is the earned value here? For period 4, what is the earned value?
400
400, yes, because we've already earned it, correct.
finished. Yeah.
And what about 50% of B? So how much is 50% of B here?
1,200.
And what is 33% of C?
495.
And what is 0% of D?
0.
0. Okay, so you told me here those figures. You said here that's 400. 400 minus 300 gives me how much?
100.
400 minus 400 give me how much?
0.
So what total have you guys got here?
2095.
Okay, I need you to go and make your calculation as equal. So don't worry about, 33.33%. So that's 50%, 1,200. That's 33%. Okay, I need you to put it as 1,000. Don't put it as the small variations. Okay, if you're going to put the small variations, you're not going to have the same answer as me, but it doesn't matter.
I got a question.
Tell me.
How come we calculated the estimated value at the end of period 4?
You mean earned value?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your question?
My question is why don't we calculate the 50% of just 800? Because the budget at the end of the period 4 is 800.
Because you're calculating 50% of the whole task, 50% of the overall task. The task is supposed to cost me 2,400. The overall task, it's not supposed to cost me only 800.
So, but it's the end of period 4, right?
Yeah, but you're not, okay, you need to differentiate between the planned value. If you're talking about planned, you'll only report till the end of period 4 versus earned value. Earned value is comparing against the overall cost. Planned value is only comparing how much you were planning to spend at any point of time. So earned value is always calculated by comparing to the overall cost of that activity.
Okay. I got
Does
it,
that make
Master.
sense?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay, any other question? Okay, guys, so now that I told you the difference, could you please tell me what the totals is going to be here? So what are we going to having for earned value? What can you tell me?
Sorry, sir. From the chart, for the period 4, the task A is finished already, isn't it?
From the chart.
like the go to chart in like up in the
This chart?
exercise.
Yeah.
Yes, not this chart, sir. Below that.
Okay, this one, yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm talking about that. So from this chart, like for task A in period 4, it is already been finished.
Correct, and that's why you've earned 400,
Okay.
because you've earned
But for
all the figure.
yes, sir. But for B, it will be B. It will be 600, isn't it, sir?
For which one?
For B, task B,
50%.
50% is 300.
No, it's 50% off the overall budget.
Okay.
50% off the 2,400 is what? It's $1,200, and that's why you put $1,200 here.
Okay.
Because anytime you're comparing what you're earning in comparison to how much the whole task was supposed to cost you.
Okay. Plan value, yeah. Oh.
Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so any other questions, anyone? Can anybody tell me what is the earned value, cumulative earned value here?
2095.
Okay, you are getting 2095 because you're calculating the 33%
Yeah.
as less than 1,500, as less than $500. Okay, just always calculate it almost to be equal. So always calculate it to be $500. Otherwise, your answer will be right, but I recommend you always try to calculate it in something that is kind of equal figures to make your calculation
sorry.
easy.
Sorry to disturb you, sir. I'm still kind of like confused of what you're saying by equal. So I'm grasping it as rounding off to the nearest 100 value. Is
Correct. Correct.
that okay? Got it. Thank you, sir.
That's right, champ. No problem at all. Anyone else?
So even if it's 495, we write it as 500.
Yes, that's always because I try to make your life easy with the calculations, and that's why I'm making that recommendation.
Okay, sir.
Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Can you tell me what the cumulative actual cost would be?
$1,800.
What about here?
1,800 again.
What about here?
295.
Or plus 300? And this one here?
Oh, okay. 300.
Okay, so are we ahead of schedule or behind schedule?
We are ahead of schedule.
And are we over budget or under budget?
Mm,
So under budget.
under budget, sir.
Under budget. Have you guys calculated this or you need more time for this? Do you want more time to do this one?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll give you an extra, I give you 10 minutes, but if anybody have already done it, just take a break and then come back in 10 minutes. So I'm gonna give everyone a break. If anybody haven't done it and would like to focus on it, just focus on it and we'll resume back in 10 minutes. All right, guys, so as we've discussed here, this is the answer that is available for this question. For period 1, we are already ahead of schedule and under budget, and the same thing is available for period 2. We'll use all of that commentary to be able to go and discuss how things are actually happening in the project. I really recommend that you read all of this analysis, because it's going to be something very similar to, if I was to ask you that in the question, it's going to be very similar to anything else you're going to go and do in your exam. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go and pick up another question to work on. So now I want you to go and work on exercise number 4. It's going to basically require a bit more reporting and a bit more calculation. It's going to require obviously more time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you, maybe start reporting on period 2 first. And then after you report on 2, I'll give you a bit of more time. So I'll give you 5 minutes to report on period 2, and then we'll start discussing any other period. Spend your time on that. Thank you very much. Okay, so you told me now for this question, earned value is 46, planned value is 32, cost variance
9,
and scheduled variance.
14.
So we're currently doing well in terms of costs and budget, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I need you to go and make the same calculations now. I need you to spend your calculations, please, now focusing on periods 2, period 4, 6, and 8. And then after that, we'll be able to start working on that table here. So focus now on these 3, and then I'll give you time to focus on the other aspects that we need to go and focus on.
Excuse me, sir. What are the cumulative totals for CV in period 2?
The cumulative total here is 9, and the
9,
cumulative SV is 14.
14? Yeah, okay, thank you.
No worries, you're very welcome. Now, I need you to focus on these 3 now. I'll give you around 5 minutes or so for these, maybe 10. And then from there, we'll be able to go and continue with the last part of that exercise. So please start working on that now. Thank you. All right, guys, anybody finish period number 4? Anybody could tell me for period number 4, what's the earned value? Cumulative?
72.
Yep. And for the planned value?
64.
And cost variance and scheduled variance?
13 and 8.
Okay, great. And what about for period 6?
It's 122.
Yep.
0.
What about planned value?
$110.
110. What's the cost variance and scheduled variance?
25 and 8.
No, that's actually wrong here. Spend a bit more time. Finish this correctly, and then finish period number 8 before we can go to the next period. So I'll give you a bit of more time to go through that exercise. All right, guys, could anybody give me the right answers for this section here? Cost variance and schedule variance for period 6.
I have got the CV as -9 and SP 20.
Okay, can we stop for 1 second at a time? Because these answers are not 100% correct. So let's go. Can you tell me the earned value for A and the planned value for A?
14?
Okay, 40 and the planned value?
Same.
Okay, what's the earned value for B and planned value for B?
32 for both.
What's the earned value for C and planned value for C?
36 and 24.
Okay, what about for D?
0 and 6.
Okay, 0 and 6. And what about for E?
14 and 8.
Okay, that's fine. So you just gave me all of these numbers. You gave me 40, 32, 36, 0, and 14. And you gave me 40, 32, 24, 6, and 8. So 40 minus 40 is 0 and 0. 32 minus 32 is 8 and 0. 36 and 24 is 12 and 12. This one here is 0 and minus 6.
4 and 6.
This one here is 4 and 6. So if I add them all together, what answer
29
should I get here?
29 and 12.
29 and 12. Now, those who made the mistake, could you just stop for a second? And could you please check where have you done a mistake here? So let's stop for a second and think, where have you done a mistake? Can you see where you've done a mistake? Is that clear? Do you know where you've done a mistake?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Anything not clear why we got that answer? All right. Now, period number 8. What's the earned value? What's the planned value?
$154, $158.
No, I'm talking here. What I'm highlighting.
40, 40.
40, 40 in here.
I haven't calculated it.
40, 40.
50.
Calculate it.
Five.
50. What about here?
32, 32.
Yep.
80.
What about here?
48,
48,
48.
48,
Yep.
16, 0,
And what about here?
6, 10, minus 14.
Minus 14, minus 4.
What
minus
about
4,
here?
28, 28, 8, 0.
And what about here?
154, 158, 23 minus 4.
154, 158, 23 minus 4. That's correct. So let's go and pick up this earned value for periods 2, 4, 6, and 8. So we know, for example, for 8, it's 154. We know actual cost is 131. We know that the planned value is 158. So you put the figures that you collected earlier, you put it in this table. And based on those figures, I want you to calculate SPI and CPI. And then I want you to calculate PCIB. Now, you can tell me, how do I really calculate PCIB? And I say it's a very, very valid question. And if we go to the...
Maybe earned value by BAC.
If we go to this
Measurement of
formula
actual
here.
cost.
What's that, sorry?
Earned value divided by actual cost.
Yes, so there's, if you want here, let me share this. If I go and select that, you can see I have PCIB. Okay, so earned value divided by, budgeted at completion. So my earned value, I have it, and then I need my budgeted at completion. So you're going to ask me, what is budgeted at completion? Well, to know how much a project was budgeted at completion, if you go and add this cumulative value, the budgeted at completion for the project was 206. So my BAC is actually 206, my budgeted at completion. And I already know my earned value from beginning, so I can know straight away by dividing earned value divided by budget at completion. I know how much percentage of the budget have I already went and I have already actually spent. And now we basically have extra question, which is EACF and VACF. So again, we need to find a formula to be able to go and answer this question. And if you go here, you can try to use those potential formulas. You know, EACF, for example, estimated to complete plus actual cost. And if you want to go and have further, it's work remaining divided by CPI. If you want to even look longer, it's BIC minus earned value divided actual cost, which is we have all of that information. So I want you to go and start looking at those one after the other. Let's start by, let's go and say, so what do we, tell me what do we have here? So what do we have here, guys? Period 2, what do we have?
$46, $37, and $32.
Okay, 46, 37, and 22. SPI is earned value divided by planned value. So 46 divided by 32, what do we get as SPI?
$1.437.
1.437, correct. And earned value divided by actual cost is 46 divided by 37. What do I get as SPI, CPI?
1.24.
And PCIB is earned value divided by BAC. We know that earned value is 22. Sorry, we know that earned value is 46. We know that PCIB is 206. So if I go 46 divided by 206, what do I get?
0.22.
Which means I've spent 22% of the budget of my project. We do the same here. Period 4, what do I have?
72, 59, and 64.
Okay, so if I want to calculate SPI, it's 72, which is earned value divided by planned value of 64. That tells me 1.13. If I want to calculate CPI, it's earned value 72 minus actual divided by actual cost of 59. That tells me it is 1.22. And the percentage PCIB is 72, which is earned value divided by my budget at completion of 206. And then I'll get the answer of 35% of the budget has been spent. If I want to go and kind of see what this means, SPI is positive, CPI is positive. It means for every dollar we're spending, we are actually ahead of schedule. We're getting more work completed than planned, and we are basically getting it at a cheaper cost than what it's supposed to go and really cost me. So we are under budget and ahead of schedule. EACF equal. Let's apply this formula. So the formula is EACF is BAC minus EV divided by EV divided by AC. Let's go and ask this question. For period, what is my budgeted at completion, guys? What is my BAC for the project?
206.
206, great. What is my earned value for period number 8?
$154.
154. So already I know that I need to put 206 minus 154 divided by EV. What's EV for period 8?
The same value, 154.
154 divided by my actual cost of period 8. What's my actual cost for period 8? What's this figure here?
131.
131. Great. So I have now that figure and that figure divided by 31 plus actual cost plus what?
The same value, 131.
Okay, great. So what do I get as EACF, estimated at cost forecast? What do I get? The figure? I get the figure as $175. So my EACF becomes $175. If I want to know what is the variance at completion, it's my budgeted at completion, which is my 206, minus my estimated at completion forecast minus 175 equal 31, which means I am going to now finish the project by spending much more money than I'm expected to go and be spending. And that's really bring me to all of these answers here. You go and see that we get to the bottom, we get all of these indexes, we'll be able to get all of these figures, and we'll be able to start analyzing. The project is currently 23,000 under budget. Yes, I know that from this. But it's basically $4,000 behind schedule. Okay, great. So I know we are behind schedule here. How do I know? Well, it's basically mainly here. If I go and look at this activity is not completed. We only finished 33%. We are now period 8. But by period 8, I was supposed to finish $10 out of 18. So $10 out of 18, that's 55% or so. $10 is really 55% of the work. 10 out of 18 is 55% of the work that needed to be done. So I'm supposed to have already finished 55% of the work that needed to be done by period 8. But in reality, we have only completed, instead of $10, we've only, we've only completed 33%, so $6 instead of $10. So what this tells me is, because this activity is not progressing well, we are having an issue. We need to have already completed 50%, or actually more than 50%, 55%, but we've already only completed 33%. This project is 75% complete. I know that from my PCIB, percentage of completed, comparing to the budget of costing we have. In terms of the future, if the project earns $1.18 for each dollar spent, the forecasted cost at completion will be $175,000. So that's this one here. If we're going to continue working the way we're working and earning 1.88 for every dollar we're working, we're earning more money than we're basically paying. Well, we're going to be able to go and finish the project 31,000 under budget. The variances is going to be under budget. But we need to go and make sure we're solving activity number D and make sure it's going to progressing, because if we don't, we're going to have an issue and the project won't go and be delivered according to the requirements we would like it to go and really deliver. So it's all about calculating, using the right formulas, making your calculations and analyzing the data. What does all of this data really mean? Now, if I was to give you any of these things in your exam, I don't think they'd be much more difficult than something like this exercise here. But saying this, there are obviously many more exercises available here. And I'm going to say it is going to be your job to go through those exercises and calculate them like you've calculated here. I've put in a couple of exercises. This is usually sometimes how I give you exam questions. So I want you to go through all of those exercises, have a look at all of those exercises and tell me, really tell me the information about analyzing. I won't really give you an answer for that one. I want you to analyze it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Moodle. I'm going to put all of your answers to be available. But instead of going and checking the answers, I would really encourage you to go and check, do the exercises yourself before you check any answer whatsoever, because this is the only way you're going to be able to find your mistakes and be able to go and rectify your mistakes. If you don't do that, any question I give you like this in the final exam is not a question you guys are going to be able to go and be doing. So please spend the time to look at those questions in details. And then after you do that, you'll be able to go and get a good marks if this was to be a question in your final exam. Any questions at all, guys, you have for me? Alrighty, guys. I just want to say thank you very much for all your hard work and for your effort. Remember, you have an assignment that is due next week, so please make sure you work very hard on that. And I look forward to go and see you guys achieve success throughout the subject. Thank you very much.